Well, I don't know if you saw the video on my other channel where I made this. It was my first commission piece for a piece of abstract art. I made two. I made this one and I made this one, and they absolutely loved them. But what they've asked me to do is ask me to cover them in resin and do a coat on resin of them, and that will really bring them out as well. If you don't know how I did these, then check out my other channel, Steve McDonald Crafting. I think you'll love it. I do so much on there that's not resin work. Now I'm going to be using today this new Easy Coat resin by Tea Expert. It is brilliant. It is sandable, it is self-leveling, it is a very high gloss, and it has a super hardness to it. So you can use this for tabletops, you can use it for coasters, you can use it for anything that you want to put a coat on. Now I'm also going to show you a coaster. This is one of a set I also made on my other channel as well. Look at that, so cute, as a quick gift. But I couldn't find any coasters, so I'm going to stick a photograph on this and show you how well it actually coats. Now I've prepped this canvas first. I've put some tape on the back. What I'm also going to do is put some of these nails into this canvas so I can actually hold it up off the ground and level it out a little bit, because it's a bit too big for my leveling table. Because before you do anything like this, you want to make sure that what you're pouring onto is level, because this stuff is self-leveling. If it isn't level, it's going to find its way off the edge of the canvas, and we don't want that, do we? So it's quite easy. Just pop that on like that, get a level, and then you can have a look and see where it needs to be level. So that needs to come down a little bit more on this side. Yep, that's great. Oh, and that's perfect there as well. So I'm going to do this one second, but I'm going to prep this one first. And this is just a normal photograph taken using photograph paper. And I'm going to use good old Pritt stick, and I'm going to go all the way around, making sure I've got all the edges covered. If you haven't got Pritt stick, you can use PVA glue or any type of glue that's going to stick it down really well, because what you want to avoid is any edges where you can release bubbles. And then I'm going to put that roughly in the center there, like so, and then just push that down with my hands, making sure I've got that sealed all the way around, and any glue that I've got on it, I'm going to try and get off as well. And then what I can do is leave that to dry for about half an hour, and then that will be stuck on there permanently, like that. And while that's drying, I can mix up my Easy Coat resin. Now this, as I said, comes as a 2-to-1. It is beautiful and clear. This is my second lot of this, so I've gone through this quite quickly because I've done a lot. You can also do tabletops with this as well. And you know I like to make tables because it is super hard. It is going to be a lot more scratch resistant than a normal 1-to-1 resin. Now, when you're doing coatings with this, on that picture, you don't want to have it too thick. And if you want to put a second coat on, which is, I often do it in 2 coats if it doesn't take in 1, then wait about 10 hours before you put the next coat on. Because after 10 hours, it will still be slightly sticky and it will work really, really well on that. I'm going to use for that picture about 150 in total of the amount of resin. So all I need to do is work that out, and so that's a 2-to-1 ratio. So all I need is 100 of the part A, so I'm going to mark it on there, and 50 of the part B, so that's 2-to-1, and now that's easy for me to measure. The other thing that you want to make sure that you do as well is that you're not working in a cold environment. This needs to be about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, the resin, and also the temperature of the room. Because if not, what you're going to find is it's not going to run and find its level as easy as you want it to. But also, you get a far better result with it when it's actually curing as well. Because this is actually, once it's mixed up, you'll see that it's not thick resin. Now you can also do a little bit of casting with this as well if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend that you go more than about 1 centimetre. So what's that, about just under ½ an inch with this. It will only take about 3 or 4 minutes to mix up, and you'll see when it's mixed up because it will go nice and clear. And the other thing is with it as well, You want to make sure that you mix slowly with this, but also again, make sure that you scrape the sides and the bottom and your stick as well, because you don't want any spots of it that aren't mixed, and that goes for any resin that you're mixing. And also, by doing it like that as well, you're going to dislodge any bubbles that are stuck on the side. Now, if you've got a bubble removing machine, you can pop this into it and it will remove the bubbles from it. But you really, when you're doing a coating like this, you probably wouldn't have to, because you can go over it with a torch afterwards, because you're not going to affect it because it's not going to be in a mold. Can you see it's starting to clear up now, because it is starting to get mixed in, and it only takes about 3 minutes or 4 minutes to mix, and it doesn't have any blue color to it. It's absolutely beautiful and clear. So that's nicely mixed up now, and what I can do is start to pour this on. And as I said, it is a lovely thin resin, so it's going to spread out really easily. And I'm only going to do one of the pictures to start with, so I can show you the difference of what a picture looks like when it's been covered with resin as opposed to not being covered with resin, because it really does finish it off lovely. So that should be enough of that on there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm taking a knife and I'm going to spread that over all the way around. Now you can do it if you want a little bit thicker than this to start with, but I'm not going to, because I don't want a massive coat of this on it. So I'm going to make sure that I've got everywhere covered, because I'd rather put 2 coats on than one really thick coat and then it doesn't look as nice. And for this whole picture, I've probably used about 125 mil. Now, unfortunately, I can't find my things that I use to cover my canvases up with at the moment, so I'm going to try and find a box with it, because I've only just moved house and everything's in a bit of a muddle because I'm having to work not in my normal studios. If you'd like to buy me a coffee just to say thank you for any of the videos that I've made, and also for sharing these sorts of things with you, then the link for that is in the description below. Everything that I get from coffees at the moment is going towards setting up my new studios. And thank you to everyone that got me a coffee last month. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. You really have helped. Now I'm checking around to make sure that I've got no misses, and I can't see any misses. So now that is all done and ready. The other thing is I meant to say is you get a 30-minute pot time with this, and also this picture has been done about 6 weeks, so as a result it's not going to cause any of those little eye bits that can come up when you're using it, because the acrylic paint is completely dry on there. And this should be touch dry within about 10 hours. So now we've got that on there like that, we can get rid of any bubbles that come up by using a torch. I haven't got this on high heat. Now, don't have your torch right close to it. Look at the mirror effect on this, because you can already see my lights. So just get a sweeping motion going across about 5 or 6 centimeters away from the actual resin itself, which will give you the much, much better result. That has come out so well so far. So I'm just going to move this to the edge a little bit. And then with this coaster here, what I'm going to do is pop that there. I'm not going to put anything under this. All I'm going to do is fill that up like that with the little bit that I've got left, and then go to the edge. I will burn off any bubbles that have come up. Because we've got a wooden bit underneath here, it may come up as well. And I did these coasters on my other channel, Steve McDonald's Crafting. So check out that video, because it really is a simple way of getting some great gifts if you're really in a hurry for a gift for someone. And this has also got a great surface tension as well, so it shouldn't just pour off the edge. And as I said, it's brilliant for tabletops, but I haven't got a tabletop to show you. I haven't got one made. If not, I would show you that on a tabletop as well. There we go. We've got all that poured. I'm going to leave this now to cure up. And as you can see, there's no fish eyes appeared at all, which is those little divots. And look at the reflection, because it's like a mirror. It's showing my lights and everything. This is all cured now, and it's worked really well. Look at that. There is absolutely no fish eyes in that at all. It's given a brilliant, even coating. And there's the difference in when you varnish and when you cover it in resin. There is a massive difference. Look, that looks nice, but look how lovely and glossy that is. Give a beautiful coat all the way to the edges as well. Very, very pleased with that. And I'm sure the people I've done that for will also be pleased with it. Again, the coaster came out amazing, lovely and thin, clear, fully cured coat. Not a single bubble in that anywhere. Can you imagine what that would be like if you were coating cast coasters where you've got that little sharp rim in? You could put a lovely thin layer on there and get a great result. If I was doing this on a table, I would actually leave it for probably 2 or 3 weeks before I use the table, because that way you can be sure it's fully cured and lovely and hard, and it's going to not mark as easy or scratch as easy. But overall, what a brilliant resin. As I always say, make sure you use the right resin for the right job, and this is definitely a really, really versatile resin. Move that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure that you check out the video that I've got coming up next, which is all about using the right resin and how dangerous it is if you don't use the right resin. But most of all, take care and enjoy your resin. Bye.